words to say to you. Cowboy up.
HandyMan Joe.
Okay, here today with one of my trees that didn't quite make it last year. The bulbs finally got to the point where there was too many of them that went out, so I retired this tree from last year, but I saved it because I wanted to point out a tip to you, what I do with some of my old trees. Over the years, I always, around the windows and all the house and in the pool house, that I always would put swags on the ledges, and I would make those out of real pine. But disadvantage of using the real pine is if you end up getting a hot spell there, because there's such a small amount of pine on that windowsill, plus the sun reflecting off that windowsill would dry out that pine and wouldn't last that long. So you really can't find a perfect swag that fits on the windowsill that's the right width. So what I end up doing is, when I do retire a tree, I end up cutting the branches and making a perfect size swag for that window. And what I'll do is, basically, if I've got a tree that's just on the hinge style, you have to cut the hinges, the stems off of the hinges, and I'll just use my grinder, or you can use a hacksaw, whatever you have at your disposal there. But I'm going to cut a couple of these off here real quick and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, obviously why I'm doing that, I do have my safety glasses on, because safety is always an important part of doing this kind of stuff here. And then simply, if it is a pre-lit tree, you just cut the wires off wherever you need to, so that each branch becomes individually free. And then once I have 3 or 4 of these branches free, what I do is I just bring them over to the windowsill that I'm trying to make the swag for, and I'll just lay them in there. And typically, if you want to do this out of the live pine, and you would do it the same way, it's just lay them the width of the windowsill there. And once I get enough of the branches off of the tree, and I think that it's starting to look like a swag that's full enough, I'll take my green craft wire and then just wire these all together so that it becomes one unit. And so then that craft wire will keep that nice and tight. And then each year, when we're at Lowe's, you can pick up these exterior bows. I think we got these last year for $1.25, and so I always have a full stock supply of those. So then, I'll take this bow and wrap that bow to it there, and then when I wrap it with the green craft wire, I'll leave enough wire on there so that I can actually run the wire through the bottom of the window. And on the inside of the window there, I'll usually just have a small little tack nail that I can tack on the underside of the trim, that I can wire that swag to, so that no matter how windy it is, that thing doesn't get blowed off of the windowsill. But just one idea there, that you can take an old tree and make some swags. And obviously I gotta fluff that up there and add another branch to it, but just wanted to give you a quick tip there. Okay, just wanted to show you what the finished product looked like there. And I'd mentioned that I got that bow for 25 cents at Lowe's. That was the after Christmas special when they have their 75% off. So didn't want you to think you could be running to Lowe's here before the Christmas season ends and get a bow for 25 cents. And hopefully you can pick up in the picture here. I'm going to pull onto this green wire here. This is the craft wire that I was talking about that I leave long, so I'm able to tie that through the inside of the house so that it doesn't blow off. And just want to show you real quick here too what I meant by placing the nail under the windowsill there. You can get a close-up there of the nail that I place. I place that on the bottom side of the trim so that I don't put any holes into the face of the trim that I'd have to worry about patching. And after the Christmas season, I just pull that nail out and usually go back and try to put it in the same hole. I apologize for the shadows that we're getting here, but it is nighttime here and I'm getting little shadows on the video here, but hopefully you can see what's going on there. So basically we'll take the swag that we just made and we'll put it on the outside of the window here so that you can see what a finished product really looks like. We'll simply put the wire through the inside of underneath the window there, and then as we have it laying there, I'm going to go back on the inside and pull that tight. I normally would have my wife helping me and I wouldn't be going back and forth inside here, but she's a little busy doing trees on the inside right now. And as you can see here, I got a hold of this green wire and I simply pull it tight, and then I will wrap it around that nail just a few times, and then we shut the window, and then I will go back outside and just make sure that it looks centered up there. And as you can see there, looks pretty good.